I denied it for the longest time, but I was addicted to my phone. And it was affecting not just my mental health, but also my relationship. My screen time was over 9 hours a day. And sure, some of that was running my small business, but a lot of it was just scrolling Instagram anytime I had a free moment. And I have a feeling you may be struggling with the same if you're watching this video. 57% of Americans say they feel addicted to their smartphone. And I don't think it's because we lack discipline, but because they were made to be addictive and nobody ever taught us how to set healthy boundaries with technology. So if you've been craving a slower, more intentional life away from your phone, in today's video, I am sharing 5 simple shifts that helped me reduce my screen time, stop scrolling, and actually live the life I worked so hard for. And I promise, none of these tips are going to tell you to delete social media forever or throw your phone in the ocean and run away to live in the forest. And the last tip might just become your favorite day of the week. So if that's what you want to see, go ahead and get cozy, make yourself a cup of tea, and let's dive into number 1. I know I had a problem when I could feel my wife's resentment anytime I picked up my phone. As I mentioned before, I run a small business, so I use my personal phone a lot to answer clients, create content, check emails, all of the behind the scenes stuff. But I got into this really bad habit every night when we would be watching our favorite shows on TV. Anytime there was a commercial break, I would immediately grab my phone and start working or fall down the rabbit hole of Instagram and watch a bunch of random cat or squirrel videos that didn't actually add any value to my life. And then 15 minutes would pass and I realized I missed half the show, so my wife would have to rewind the episode or try to explain to me everything I missed. Or even worse, she would be having a conversation with me and I would just be nodding my head saying yeah every couple of seconds, but not actually paying attention. And once I saw how that was affecting our relationship, I knew something had to change. So I came up with this little idea to create a home for my phone. Kind of like when we were kids and the phone was literally attached to the wall by a cord, so you had to stand in the middle of the kitchen and be fully present with the person on the other end of the line. And then once the phone call was over, you'd hang up and get on with the rest of your day. That's the same thing we're gonna do right now, but with your mobile phone. So every single evening when I am done at work at 4:30, I place my phone on my desk on top of a selenite crystal because I'm a little bit woo-woo, and then I close my office door. So that way my phone's not always at arm's reach, easily accessible. And sure, the first couple nights were a little bit awkward because I would find myself instinctively grabbing for the phone where it used to be on the couch and there'd be nothing there. But eventually I realized I wasn't actually missing anything that I thought was going to be on my phone. The only thing I was missing out on was watching a bunch of other people live their life, which I'd much rather live my own. And I also noticed it improved my relationship because now the evenings are for me and my wife instead of me and my phone. And having just a little bit of distance from your phone means it's almost impossible to mindlessly scroll because now you have to stand up, walk to another room, and have a purpose for picking it up. So whether you want to leave your phone in a guest room or an office like I do, maybe you could have a charging station by your front door where you drop it the second you get home from work. You could make it a little whimsical by hanging a basket on your wall and placing your phone in there every night. Or even just throwing it in a kitchen drawer so that way it's out of sight, out of mind. So let me know down in the comments where your phone home is going to be. And also while you're down there, you can check out the 21-day slow living challenge where I share more simple daily practices like this to help you disconnect with technology and reconnect with yourself in just 5 minutes a day. But let's dive into the second hack that's gonna help you stop picking up your phone 100 times a day. This might be kind of surprising, but I have turned off all notifications on my phone. If you were to pick it up and look at my home screen, all you're gonna see is a picture of my dog Nala and not a single Instagram, TikTok, email, nothing. Because I know myself personally, if I see somebody commented on a post, I'm gonna open up the app and then instead of answering them, I'm gonna get distracted by the first thing on the home feed and then end up scrolling for 15 minutes and asking myself, why did I come here again? Where on the other hand, if I don't have any notifications letting me know what's going on social media, I don't have a reason to open up those apps a million times a day. And then when I finally do sit down to reply to comments or answer DMs, I'm more intentional with it because I set aside this set number of minutes to do that instead of just picking it up 100 times a day and ending up down the rabbit hole. And I also set up the in-app timers that go off every 10 minutes to remind you to take a break. It works really well as a little check-in as to why did I come on this app and do I want to keep being on here or go do something else with my life? Or you can take it to the next level and get one of those brick devices that you've probably seen all over social media that literally turns your phone into a brick because it blocks you from using whatever apps or email or whatever it is you don't want to get distracted by. But if you don't want to go out and buy a $30 device or however much it is, I honestly don't know, you could do both of those things I just mentioned for free. Turning off the notifications from your home screen and also adding those in-timer apps so that way you have that little reminder to be a bit more intentional with your time on it. Speaking of being more intentional, this next phone hack is super simple yet super effective. You're simply going to say out loud what your intention is for using your phone. So, for example, if you saw that you had a client text, you would say before you unlocked your phone, I'm going on here to answer Jessica or whatever their name is. Or maybe you've had a long day at work and you want to unwind by watching some funny videos. You would say, my intention for using my phone these next 10 minutes is to watch cat videos. It's kind of like you're speaking it into existence, but also when we say things out loud, our brain tends to take them more seriously, and it's gonna help you, one, remember why you're actually going on your phone, so that way if you get distracted with something else, you could go back to, what did I just say a couple minutes ago? Oh, right, I said I was going to respond to Jessica. And two, it's gonna help keep you on track with what you actually wanted to do on your phone, so that way once you complete that task, you can close out the app and get on with the rest of your day. Some researchers actually theorize that's why our phones are so addictive. Because unlike everything else on your to-do list that has a clear start and end, your phone doesn't really have that because there's always more content to watch, more emails to answer, more things to do on it. So there's not a clear completed check mark after you use it. So it constantly feels like a million tabs open in your brain that you have to keep going back to. But if you clearly state your intention, you give your brain that one task you have to do, and then you get the little dopamine hit when you get to mentally check it off. And hopefully that will help you not constantly be reopening it and then getting sucked into it. I have a feeling you are going to love these last two tips because instead of just reducing your screen time, we are going to find more enjoyable ways to replace it so that way you actually crave the new activity instead of your phone. And the first one is cozy hobbies. Now, I've become obsessed with these the past couple of years, and I actually created a video, or I have 2 videos now with 20 different cozy hobbies that are super beginner friendly that will help you find something fun to do outside of your phone. Because I find for so many of us, it's kind of become the default whenever we get bored to just open our phone and see what's there. Where back in the day, before we had smartphones, if you were bored, you had to find another way to entertain yourself. So one of my favorite personal cozy hobbies to do that is crocheting. It took me a minute to get into it at first, but I have found it so relaxing to just repeat the same stitch over and over again. And also it keeps my hands busy so that way I physically can't use my phone because now they're wrapped up in yarn and trying to remember which stitch I'm on. And it also gives you that little dopamine hit that your brain is searching for whenever you open up TikTok and you're hoping for a new like or comment. Now you're getting the dopamine hit every single time you finish another row of your project. But if you're not into crochet, there are so many other options. Some as simple as just using a coloring book every evening, because again, your hands are busy and you're actually relaxing your mind. Or you could get into watercolor painting. needle felting, needlepoint, embroidery, even just reading a book. Anything that keeps your hands busy and relaxes your mind is a great substitution, not just for avoiding your phone, but also it's gonna help you sleep better at night because now you don't have that blue light messing with your melatonin, and also you're actually relaxing your brain and your nervous system so you're not replaying the entire day in your head as you're trying to fall asleep. I swear the nights that I crochet instead of use my phone, I fall asleep so much faster and wake up so much more refreshed just by switching out that one habit. And I will leave both of those cozy hobby videos somewhere here so that way you can watch them and find your new favorite activity to do every evening. Now, before we dive into our last tip to help you disconnect from your phone and reconnect with yourself, if you found something helpful in this video, would you mind giving it a thumbs up so that way I know to create more like it, and also so that way the YouTube algorithm pushes it to more people who might need these tips. And if you found 2 helpful things in this video, consider subscribing for more cozy business hacks and slow living inspiration just like this. And speaking of slow living, that actually goes perfectly into our last tip. Having your own slow living Sunday. This is my one day every single week where I am completely disconnected from my phone. It actually stays in my office and I do not open it at all. No text, no social media, no checking emails. It is my one day completely off every single week. But the real special part of this practice, and what I think you're gonna love most about it, is all the other things you find to do when your phone isn't the default. Maybe you'll do some of those cozy hobbies in the morning, or you'll actually find the motivation to do the dishes and the laundry, which was not what I was expecting to happen when I stopped using my phone, but I found that I eventually got bored enough that I would actually do those things without my wife asking me to. Or maybe you'll go for a walk with your dog, or maybe a little adventure. You'll have a picnic in the park or go for a hike. You'll find more exciting things to do when your phone isn't an option. And if you were anything like me a couple years ago, those 9 hours of screen time a day, you could do so many other things that make your life so much more magical and memorable than watching 15 TikToks in a row. So whether you plan this weekly social media and technology break on Sunday and you give it a catchy name like Slow Living Sunday, or you do it on Saturday or a random day in the middle of the week, it doesn't really matter. But it's that one opportunity every single week to stop focusing on what's going on in everybody else's life and go out there and live your own. And if you're curious what I do for my own Slow Living Sunday, go ahead and comment below and I will film that vlog so that way we can hang out and find fun things to do together other than use our phones. Which I do recognize the irony of filming a tech-free day, but I have to use camera, aka technology, to film. I get it. And also, this video and the irony of talking about not using your phone, and I'm literally using my phone and I've been staring at it for the past hour to record this. But all that aside, I hope you found this video helpful. And if you'd like to take it a step further, that 21-day slow living challenge is going to have daily practices just like these to help you disconnect from technology and reconnect with yourself and create a more slow, a more simple, a more intentional, and a more cozy life in just 5 minutes a day. I will leave a link for that and the exclusive free sneak peek inside of it down in the description below. And until next video, stay magical.